It is a mystery that is still unsolved to this day. Today on History's Mysteries, we look at one of America's most notorious outlaws, Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid was born William Henry McCarty on September 17, 1859, to Catherine McCarty in New York City. He was an outlaw and gunfighter who killed only 8 men before he was supposedly shot and killed at age 21 by Sheriff Pat Garrett in 1881. He took part in New Mexico's Lincoln County War, during which he allegedly only committed 3 murders. His first arrest was for stealing food at age 16 in late 1875. 10 days later, he would rob a Chinese laundry and was soon arrested, but he would escape only 2 days later. He tried to stay with his stepfather, William Antrim, but that didn't work for too long, as he would flee from the New Mexico territory into the neighboring Arizona territory. Here is where young McCarty would begin to refer to himself as William H. Bonney. Nobody knows exactly where the name came from, but all we know is he began to refer to himself by this name during this time. He would return to Lincoln County sometime around 1878 and begin to work for English businessman and rancher John Tunstall as a cowboy in Lincoln County. Tunstall was like a father figure to Billy and treated him fair. On February 18th, 1878, John Tunstall learned of a posse formed by Lincoln County Sheriff William Brady and the Santa Fe Ring, which was a group of Irish-American businessmen Lawrence Murphy, James Dolan, and John Riley, who had an economic and political power in Lincoln County since the early 1870s. John Tunstall would ride out to intervene. During the encounter, one member of Brady's posse shot Tunstall in the chest, knocking him off his horse. Another member took Tunstall's own gun and killed him with a shot to the back of the head. Tunstall's murder ignited the conflict between Billy and the Ring, which became known as the Lincoln County War. Bonney wrote to Governor Lew Wallace in March of 1879 with an offer to provide information on the murder of Lincoln County Attorney Houston Chapman in exchange for a pardon. On March 15th, Governor Wallace replied to Billy, agreeing for a secret meeting to discuss the situation. Bonney met with Governor Wallace in Lincoln on March 17, 1879. During the meeting, Wallace promised Bonney protection from his enemies and a pardon if he would offer his testimony to a grand jury. On March 20th, Wallace wrote to Billy, and I quote, "To remove all suspicion of understanding, I think it is better to put the arresting party in charge of Sheriff Kimball, who shall be instructed to see that no violence is used." Bonney responded on the same day, agreeing to testify and confirming Wallace's proposal for his arrest and detention in a local jail to assure his safety. On March 21st, Billy let himself be captured by a posse led by Sheriff George Kimball. As he promised, Bonney provided a testimony about Chapman's murder and testified in court. However, after Billy's testimony, the local district attorney refused to set him free. While still in custody, Billy began to suspect that Governor Wallace had used him, but would never grant him his pardon. Billy would escape from the Lincoln County Jail in June. Governor Wallace would then hire Sheriff Pat Garrett to search for the outlaw. And on December 23rd, following a siege in which Charlie Beaudry was killed, Garrett and his posse captured Billy at Stinking Springs. On April 13th, Judge Warren Bristol sentenced Billy to hang, with his execution scheduled for May 13th, 1881. Following his sentence, Billy was moved to the upstairs room of the Lincoln County Courthouse, where he was held under guard. On the evening of April 28th, 1881, while Sheriff Pat Garrett was out of town on a meeting, Deputy Bob Ollinger took 5 other prisoners across the street for a meal, leaving Deputy James Bell alone with the outlaw. Billy asked to be taken outside to use the outhouse behind the courthouse. Now here's where things get suspicious. He finds a gun in the outhouse. And on their return, Billy, who was walking a little ahead of Bell up the stairs, pulled the gun from under his shirt, pointed it at Bell, and then there was a scuffle, and Billy would shoot Bell, killing him instantly. Deputy Ollinger heard the gunshot and started to run back to the courthouse, where Billy took Ollinger's newly bought shotgun, and as he saw the deputy running back, pointed it out the window, got Ollinger's attention, and killed the deputy. Billy then would free himself from his leg shackles with an axe, got a horse, and rode out of town. Almost 3 months after Billy's escape, Garrett responded to rumors that Billy was in Fort Sumner. He would leave Lincoln with 2 deputies to question Pete Maxwell, a friend of Billy's, on July 14th. Around midnight, the pair sat in Maxwell's dark bedroom where Billy unexpectedly entered. Billy asked, "¿Quién es?" "¿Quién es?" Spanish, for those of you who don't know much of it, means "who is it? Who is it?" Garrett then drew his revolver and fired twice. The first bullet struck Billy in the chest just above his heart, killing him instantly. Now here's the conspiracy. I would love to believe that this is the end of the legend of Billy the Kid, but there is just way too much evidence against Pat Garrett to say that he killed the kid in 1881. We go back to Billy in the outhouse. How would Billy know that there was a gun in that outhouse unless Billy had help? Help from the only person who knew the guard schedule and was able to plant the gun and let Billy know that it was there, knew that Garrett was going to be out of town for a meeting. Why, that man was none other than Sheriff Pat Garrett himself. I can already hear you saying, why would the sheriff plant a gun knowing that a known criminal would use it to kill someone to get free? That's the point. Pat knew that Billy would use the gun to escape and was for his own political gain, because Ollinger and Bell were going to run against Garrett for sheriff of New Mexico. And here's another thing. Billy and Garrett were friends. They had known each other years before Garrett even thought about running for sheriff, and used to work as cowhands together. That is why there was a gun in the outhouse, because Garrett planted it. And that is why Garrett decided to leave town at that time so Billy can escape. Garrett would then go out to find Billy after hearing that Billy was still in New Mexico. He would take a couple of deputies and ride out to Pete Maxwell's house at Fort Sumner to confront Billy. When he gets to Maxwell's, the same scenario breaks down. Garrett's in Maxwell's dark room when a person who is believed to be Billy walks in the room. Garrett thinks that this is Billy, pulls out his gun, and kills who he thinks is the kid. Now here's the problem. The deputies that came with Garrett were stationed not too far away from Maxwell's room. So you would think that if Billy was just passing by, that they would see him and something would have happened, right? But those deputies didn't even see him. They didn't even see anyone who looked like Billy. So the man that walked into Maxwell's dark room was in fact not the kid at all. And Garrett knew this. He knew he had shot the wrong man, but instead of confessing to his mistakes, he passes the body off as Billy. Even the investigation was bad. The people Garrett brought in to identify Billy's body were people who knew the kid personally. They all said that this was not Billy. Even Pete Maxwell said, "You shot the wrong man, Pat." But Pat kept saying, "Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I know this is Billy. I used to ride with him." Now, I am guessing that there was some kind of deal involved in order to quiet everyone and make sure that everyone claimed that the body Pat Garrett killed at Fort Sumner was in fact the kid. Even the funeral was quick. Closed casket, quick burial, done. The kid's gone. Now here's where Billy leaves New Mexico. He heads for the Mexico border for a few years, and he would return. But instead of coming back to New Mexico like he had done in the past, after he escaped from a prison-like situation, he went to Hico, Texas, where he would go by a completely different name besides Billy Bonney or Antrim or McCarty, but Bill Roberts, nicknamed Brushy Bill. Now here's a little background on Brushy Bill. Brushy Bill Roberts, also known as William Henry Roberts. Let me say that again. William Henry Roberts. Where have you heard that name before? Oh, I don't know. Maybe Billy the Kid. William Henry McCarty? Come on. He attracted attention by claiming to be the notorious outlaw William H. Bonney, also known as Billy the Kid. Roberts' claims was rejected by New Mexico governor at the time, Thomas Mabry, in 1950. He has been widely debated since that time. In 1948, a lawyer named William Morrison began a correspondence with Brushy Bill, who eventually confessed to Morrison that he was indeed the kid. He detailed his supposed exploits as the outlaw. He told anecdotes that, if were true, would fill undocumented gaps in the aspects of the life of the kid. He would then ask for Morrison's help in acquiring the full pardon that he said was promised to him by New Mexico Governor Lew Wallace in 1879. But he would then show his ability to slip out of handcuffs. He goes in front of the governor, and the governor turned the meeting into a big media frenzy, to which Brushy would have a heart attack and die just a couple months after. Morrison revealed during the examination of Robert's body every scar that Brushy reportedly had and more, and compared them to Billy's, and get this, people, they were the same. Morrison also attempted to track down former Evans gang member Jim McDaniels and located him in Round Rock, Texas. McDaniels, along with Severio Gallegos, Martial Abil, and Jose Montoya, all of whom knew Billy the Kid personally, signed affidavits verifying their belief that indeed Roberts was in fact Billy the Kid. Now, since that time, numerous books have been published since Brushy Bill's death, telling about Brushy's claim. The first of which was written by William Henry Morrison and Western historian C.L. Sonashine, alias Billy the Kid. This book received mixed reviews at the time, but did win support from former President Harry S. Truman, who wrote to Morrison indicating he believed that Brushy Bill was indeed the Kid. He even went on to say that Brushy Bill would have even gotten a more favorable result if he would have saw the next governor. In 2005, W.C. Jameson, a student of C.L. Sonashine, re-examined the subject and released Billy the Kid Beyond the Grave. Jameson's work led to increased interest in Robert's story and led to additional interest in study. He even gave an interview on the History Channel show Decoded that he would bet all of his poker chips on the fact that, without a doubt, Brushy Bill was indeed Billy the Kid. Even Bill O'Reilly gave his belief on the topic by publishing his book, Bill O'Reilly's Legends of Liars, The Real West, to which he suggests that the testimony given by Brushy Bill Roberts changes history. He even cites the book alias Billy the Kid by Morrison and Sonashine. Ladies and gentlemen, I would not be saying these things if they didn't happen. I would not be telling my tale here if professional people did not tell it first. These are professionals who have been verified to be accurate in their claims and books and stories and tales. Not just some random person who just heard about this. No, these are real people who have done their research for years. And they believe the story that truly Brushy Bill Roberts was indeed Billy the Kid. Now, if you don't want to believe me, then do the research. History, ladies and gentlemen, is quite frankly written by the victor. The winner gets to tell the story. And Pat Garrett got to write the legacy of Billy the Kid, to which he lied. Just so his friend, and not just any friend, his pal, could be free. And be able to settle down somewhere and live a normal life. And he did. Ladies and gentlemen, it's to my belief that I will go down. I will honestly tell you that without a doubt, in my belief, that Brushy Bill Roberts was indeed Billy the Kid. Everything was accurate, ladies and gentlemen. The scars, the stories. He was able to slip out of the handcuffs the same way Billy was able to. Billy had big wrists and small hands. Brushy Bill, big wrists, small hands. Everything matched. You even have experts, famous experts, W.C. Jameson, William Morrison, Bill O'Reilly. I mean, all these guys believe. Brad Meltzer, very notorious for doing work on this type of stuff and making people believe that it's true. I mean, this stuff is true, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't be telling this if it wasn't true. History is written by the victor. The winner gets to tell the story. The winner gets to tell the story. That's why everybody will believe Pat Garrett. Number one, he was a lawman, which made him even more believable since he was a part of the law. I mean, why would he lie? He's a lawman. He has no reason to. But he didn't. He didn't tell the truth. He lied just so his pal could be free. The legend of Billy the Kid will always be shrouded in mystery. Did one of America's most notorious criminals die that fateful night in July, or did he live? I'll let you make that choice. Join me next time to hear more of history's mysteries. Thank you.